Where do they go from here then? Well, here to answer that are Andy Howell and Matthew Southcombe. As always, we want to hear from you, so please do get your comments and questions coming in too. Matt, you broke the story. Not often we get to say that, Andy, is it?
No, it's not, John. It's always a first time.
It was a first. Well done. You've broken the story this morning. Josh Adams out for the next 2 games, possibly even longer. Really bad news.
Yeah, it is. And it's saying that any injury story, thoughts with the play, Josh Adams, a very likeable bloke off the field with the press, very good with the journalists, and not only that, he scored 10 tries in his last 10 tests for Wales. He's a huge weapon, probably their biggest attacking threat at the moment. So, it causes problems for Pivac. It's a big loss for Wales. Like you said, we know he's out of the rest of the Six Nations, according to the information I've got. As for beyond that, we're not quite sure at the moment, but we just hope it's not too bad and he's not out for too long.
Yeah, such a shame for Wales, because obviously they didn't really have him for the game before this one, did they? The Ireland game as well. Big loss then.
It's a massive blow because he's their most potent attacking weapon, World Cup's top try scorer. There's not many better wingers than him in the world. He's right up there with the best. You give him a sniff of the try line, he generally takes it, doesn't he? So this is a serious dent into Wales's hopes, as slim as they are, of staying in the hunt for the Six Nations title.
Indeed. I mean, who comes in for him? Andy's actually picked a bit of an out there team for the England game, which we'll come on to shortly. But who replaces him? Is it as simple as Johnny McNichol comes in? Does Reece it for you?
Well, I mean, we don't know what's going on with George North at the moment, so that all comes into the mix. You would suggest that Johnny McNichol is going to be somewhere, probably starting on one of the wings. And then it's a little bit, what are the options? You've got Hallam Amos, who wasn't picked in the initial squad. Louis Rees-Zammit is uncapped. Jonah Holmes is, we don't quite know what he can do on this stage yet. He hasn't had many chances, though has been around the setup for a while. And Liam Williams, of course, there's a chance, he may play for the Scarlets this weekend ahead of that game at Twickenham. I think if he doesn't play for the Scarlets this weekend, then I'm not sure he can play against England. So he's not fully fit either, has not proven that yet anyway. So Wales have got fairly limited options at the moment. Certainly think Johnny McNichol comes in for Josh Adams, and you hope George North gets through his return to play protocols.
Let's talk through the team you want to see then, Andy, which hopefully we'll get up on screen in a minute. You've got Liam Williams straight in at full back, and on the wings you've got Lee Halfpenny moving to the one wing, and Rees-Zammit you'd like to see start. Is that right?
Yeah, I got Halfpenny in my team because, as you'll see from the person I got outside half, Wales will need a goal kicker, so you've got to have Halfpenny in a team for his goal kicking. I thought Wales against France at the weekend, they failed to run the ball back enough and they lost the kicking game to the French. So if England kick a lot on Wales, you need someone who can run the ball back. Tricky feet can beat people. Liam Williams, however, in certain situations, there's no reason why him and Halfpenny can't change positions. And I got Louis Rees-Zammit in for his debut on the other wing. He's 19 now, should have started against Italy at in the opening game of the Six Nations, scoring tries for fun. Yeah, some people might say, looking at Matt, some people may say, well, you haven't got the experience and all, they play in England. Said Twickenham, hang on a minute, plays in the Gala Premiership, that's in England by the way, and who does he score tries for fun against? England's players in that tournament. So he will have no fears whatsoever about facing England, plus he's got the X factor about him. If anything, they'll be fearing him more.
How do we feel about Jared Evans at 10, Nick Tompkins at 12 and Owen Watkin at 13?
Yeah, it feels a little bit lightweight to me, Andy's team.
You called it powder puff before. Stepping back from that.
John, I will confirm that's what he called off air, but on air.
No, I mean,
he's watering it down now.
No, I think with England, as I said yesterday, if they get into their power game, I think it's all over for Wales. I think if Wales win this game, it's going to have to be fast and loose. But I think Andy's gone too far
too fast
in the opposite direction. Yeah, it's a bit too fast and too loose for me. I think you take Dan Biggar and Hadley Parks out to that 10-12 channel, it does look a little bit of an issue defensively. I think Manu Tuolangi will be licking his lips at that, and Owen Farrell.
Yeah, but Owen Watkins is top defender, mate. That's the strength of his game.
Yeah, but if they're running at people who are 10 yards inside Owen Watkin, then there's a problem, isn't there? I would like to see Dan Biggar and Hadley Parks in that channel to deal with the threat of...
Isn't it time where you started looking towards the future a bit? and for Wales building and for the future and towards like France are towards the next World Cup and all.
Yeah,
and you said the way to beat England is with fast feet and skills.
Those weren't my words.
They
weren't my words.
Like Gareth Anscombe has given major problems when he's played against them at 10 or moved to 10 in those matches. If you're going to try and play the battering ram, the power game against England, Wales are going to come unstuck. So they're going to need players who can handle the ball, can run with the ball, and can beat people with footwork, i.e. people like your Reece Zamits, like Nick Tompkins when he's got his feet. And I think Tompkins looked really good at inside centre in the first, I think it was his first part of his cameo appearance against Italy, and he does play inside centre sometimes for the Saracens.
I like the idea you've got. You've just picked it up and run a little bit too far with it. I think it's
that's not like Andy.
There's a few too many changes in that side for me, but it's a decent principle.
Indeed. Just a couple of one here from Gareth, who's just commented about Josh Adams. Not good news, he says, but Zamster to start. I think that's what Zamster. Now, see how Liam goes for the Scarlets this Sunday as well. Tony saying sad news about Josh Adams, a great player that's on the top of his game at the moment, indeed. The only other change in your backline, then you've got Thomas Williams at scrum half, which is less controversial. I think Gareth Davis, nobody seems to be fully grasping that number 9 shirt at the minute, do they?
No, it's unfortunate really, because you want someone to grab that by the scruff of his neck and take control of games, which didn't happen for Wales at the weekend. I think Thomas Williams potentially could be a Lions scrum half in 2021. He's so good with the ball, and another one of those tricky players who can pose England problems, and plays with a bit of vision as well. I know his defence is not great. I will admit that, but I think the only way to beat England is to have a right old go at them. Don't go up there and try and soak up everything from England and try and win it with the kickers on it. Wales got nothing to lose in this championship now. Just go for it, play the pivot way of moving a ball and trying to beat people by going with my team.
Is that way in the pack? I mean, less outrageous than your backline, but you've got Rob Evans coming in there and Corey Hill as well. Is that just due to their athleticism?
Athleticism and ball skills and a bit of vision. I think Rob Evans, he can tip-top passing and stuff. I think it's him and Wyn Jones' muchness at the scrum, so that, and my views on Corey Hill, I think potentially if he could, especially if you get rid of all his injury problems, he is Wales's best lock forward and a future captain. I mean, he has captain Wales already, but there we are. So I think he is a really good player.
Rob, what did you make of Rob Evans on the weekend?
Obviously that scrum penalty went against him. I know Andy thinks that was fair enough as well, which it may very well have been, so that's a bit of a black mark next to his name. Probably didn't have as much of an impact as he would have liked to have done. I still think that he's got plenty to offer Wales, particularly in this style of play that Andy is talking about. You would worry, given how the set piece has gone, I think there's worries there anyway now against England a week Saturday. But I don't think Rob Evans didn't exactly stand out when he came onto the field, so we'll probably feel like he could have done a little bit more. But I've got no doubt there'll be few players more motivated than Rob Evans when he gets chances, because the way things have gone for him in the last 12 months have not gone to plan really since the Grand Slam. So I wouldn't have any qualms throwing him in against England, but that's not to say I thought he had a massive impact against France either.
John, what I have factored in my selection as well as age, looking a bit with the backs towards the next World Cup. I haven't made many changes to the pack because of course they are playing England.
Okay, right, we'll leave it there for now, chaps. Now, if you've ever wondered what the Wales players are eating while they're up at the Vale there during the Six Nations, we have the answer for you. Here's Chef Andre Moore talking about the food that the players are eating in a video courtesy of the WRU.
Today we'll have a lamb and pearl barley broth. And then for the main course we've got a chicken tagine, sea tuna and sea bream with a mango red onion salsa. We have Moroccan couscous with fruit, seeds, nuts, sunblush tomato, sweet potato mash, and we have some delicious Mediterranean vegetables which I will go and get this minute.
You owe me a little.
Wish I could believe that.
Roast chicken breast, Caesar salad, build your own, and a selection of wonderful delights on the salad station as well.
How's it looking, guys? Oh, outstanding. Andre, all forward.
Thank you very much. I'll pay you later.
Nutritionist John Williams for a piece I did a couple of years back, actually. You may remember, where I attempted to eat and train like the professionals. Ended on the operating table. Yeah, but no, it was a good insight into what they eat. Obviously carbs and proteins very important, and fats as well. Every player will know exactly how much food they're supposed to eat in any given meal. They'll all have their favourites as well. As you saw in the video, they eat all the stuff that by and large we can eat as well. But they put little twists on cheesecakes and things like that to make them healthy. Spaghetti bolognese, I think, is a favourite for a lot of the players before the matches as well. And all the diets will be slightly tailored, whether you want to lose a bit of weight, gain a bit of weight, because all the players will know exactly what their sort of fighting weight is almost for matches. They know exactly how heavy they should be to perform at their peak. So yeah, it's all very closely monitored. I know Andre Moore there and John Williams are in constant conversation over what the players are going to be eating on any given week, and yeah, nothing's left to chance, is it?
No, indeed. Okay, we'll leave that there for now. There's a couple of other bits of breaking news this morning. It's been a busy old morning.
It's been a very busy
old morning. Rhys Webb, let's start with him. Rhys Webb, who of course is joining the Ospreys in the summer, but without a club at the moment after leaving Toulon under a bit of a cloud. He's joined Bath until the end of the season.
That's great news for Webb. And I think Welsh rugby, because Webb is in urgent need of game time, and that has held him back. The Six Nations, though, he came off the bench.
So he could even play Italy this weekend.
Well, they said straight away that they hope he's available. They hope he's going to be in the mix this weekend against Bristol Bears in a huge derby, third against fifth in the table, big sellout. And we want, if Webb played, I don't know what Matt thinks, if Webb had a big game this weekend, could that propel him into contention for the trip to Twickenham? Because he's played really well in the past against England.
Yeah, I think he looked a little bit rusty against Italy, didn't he? And we all thought he needed game time. I think I've read somewhere he hasn't started a game since November. That's a long time. Our columnist as well, Mike Phillips, Welsh rugby legend, said exactly the same thing in his column last week. We all know of his qualities, a British and Irish lion, but just looked a little off the pace when he came on.
Especially in playing scrum half.
Yeah.
It's a position where you can't afford to be rusty.
Yeah, he looked a little off the pace, made a few mistakes. So as Andy said, game time is all he needs right now, rather than just spending the fallow weeks up at the Vale. So this will be great for him, and I hope he does get a run out this weekend.
Yeah, indeed. And likewise, I suppose, with Liam Williams, who has joined the Scarlets now immediately, with immediate effect. He could potentially play on the weekend if he's fit. You think he probably needs to, like you say, if he's going to come in against England.
Yeah, he certainly needs a game because he hasn't played since the World Cup, but he got injured in the final week of October. Of course, the position he plays is not so... it's not quite as technically demanding as scrum half or say hooker or something like that. So maybe he could get away with having one game this week and then playing for Wales the following weekend. He trained with Wales before the match. I think he was involved in the warm up at the weekend, and I expect him to play this weekend. And if he plays, looks fit, and does well, I think there's every possibility he will start. We will be involved in Twickenham.
Yeah, quite right. And the third breaking story this morning: the Ospreys have finally confirmed a new coach, Toby Booth, the man with a decent pedigree, a good appointment on the face of it.
Comes with a fair amount of pedigree, doesn't he? And we don't know what Mike Ruddock's situation is. He's staying. If he's just here until the summer at the moment, is that what we're currently saying? But it seems like they're starting to get a decent coaching setup in there. Like you said, Toby Booth comes with a bit of pedigree. He'll probably get a bit of respect from a few of the players as well because of that, which I think has been lacking there in recent seasons, with some of the guys who have been given the reins there. But he comes with a coaching pedigree. Players can get behind his philosophies hopefully down at the Ospreys, and they can start turning things around.
Yeah, he's a good bloke as well. I know him a bit. He is a good bloke. He talks really well. Guy's got good relationships with the players. I think he's not aloof for anything. He's a diligent worker. He did a really good job with London Irish. as a head coach, been forwards coach at Bath, and now he's been working only on a secondment, if you like, with Harlequins. You know, I think he's a good. I do think he's a good appointment. Ruddock, I think, has been pivotal in the appointment. It'll be interesting to see who they get in to work alongside him.
Yeah. Okay, let's finish with a few questions then. A couple here related, really. J-Lo says, J-Lo, I think they missed Josh Navidi on the weekend. When is Josh Navidi back? And another one that sort of ties into it, we must have a 6 or 7 that can challenge at the breakdown. That's been our problem. Too much has been relied on Dylan Lewis at the moment to win balls. So starting with Josh Navidi, what's the time scale on him?
Yeah, it's got a little bit quiet on Navidi. Obviously, he suffered that hamstring injury earlier on in the campaign. I think he was expected back for the final few weeks of the campaign, but we haven't really heard anything on his progress since then. So there's no reason to believe that's not still the case. But similarly, you know, if you don't hear updates on these guys, tends not to be positive news.
We'd expect that Thursday.
Wales got press on Thursday.
The other thing with Navidi, of course, he left the World Cup with a hamstring injury. This is another hamstring injury. I don't know if it's the same leg or not, but you know they cannot rush him back if it is the same leg because it's hamstring, and it. You know,
Quickly then, what about that back row issue? Because that's the one part of your team that you haven't changed from what's been the norm, and it's the one part that quite a few people now are identifying as Wales' problem. The ball is not quick enough, which is affecting their attack and their defence.
You can argue though the ball's not quick enough because of ball presentation when Wales go to deck. You know, they got to get their presentation right, and they got to get more people to the ball. Often Wales are isolated. I don't think it's entirely the fault of the back row. I think it's the fact Wales are not putting enough numbers into the breakdown, and the opposition have seen that. They've done their own work, but they are committing numbers and looking to counteract Wales. I think Wales are going to have to put more numbers into the breakdown against England, because England will, as they showed against Ireland, they will look for the counteract, and maybe they've been using Wales, Justin Tipuric, in a different role to what he had been doing the last couple of years since retirement of Sam Warburton. So maybe they need to get Tipuric more involved in the breakdown, because he was doing that Warburton role until Pivac took over.
Okay, final one then from Bruce, who says, could playing Lewis Rees-Zammit in this game potentially backfire? Lots of hype around him, but Wales are under a lot of pressure at the moment. If he doesn't have a good start to life in Wales, in the Test jersey, it could affect him going forward.
Well, that's a typical Welsh attitude, isn't it? Let's be negative, isn't it? To me, this is a game without pressure. Without pressure at all now, because everyone's written off Wales' chances of winning the Six Nations. So they've got a chance to go up very relaxed, take the shackles off, and go for it. You know, are we going to say the same in a year's time? Oh, he's 20 now, but he's still, he's under pressure. Don't pick him. You know, that's ridiculous, isn't it? Some of Wales' greatest players started their international careers when they were 18 or 19. And he's in that bracket. I'm not saying he's going to be a great, but he's a player who knows what he's doing on a rugby pitch. He's a natural rugby player, good rugby brain, and I think he's got the ability to compete at this level all the time. I mean, we're always building up a Gala Premiership as always international rugby, and he stars in that. There we are.
Yeah, it's a good argument from Andy. I know you're coming to me on this one. I do still have reservations about him making his debut at Twickenham. I know what Andy's saying about pressure and all that, but a week Saturday, 15 minutes before kick-off, is going to be pressure. It's Wales-England at Twickenham. You know, if it goes wrong, I would worry about what that does to his confidence. I would much rather they leave it a week and give him a debut back at home in Cardiff against Scotland.
Yeah, but some players, Matt, the youngsters, they thrive on pressure. They're winners. Winners thrive on pressure.
Wayne Pivac spent a lot of time with him.
Losers wilt in it.
Wayne Pivac has spent a lot of time with him now. He's best placed to make this decision on where Louis Rees-Zammit's head is at, what he's like as a bloke, where his confidence levels are, which I assume pretty high at the moment. But yeah, I'm coming around, but I do still maintain I'd rather than wait a week.
Well, what day is it? Tuesday, you reckon? John, do you think he'd be on side by Thursday?
We'll ask him Friday. See if he's there on Friday.
Hey, well, we got Sean Ollie in tomorrow, and Sean, I'm sure he'll have everyone out.
There you go. There's a reason to tune in.
Absolutely, better than listening to you two. There we are. Right, thank you guys. We'll leave it there for now. Thank you for joining us. As always, thanks for all your comments and all your questions. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 tomorrow, Andy. I think that's right, isn't it? 12 when Sean Holly is coming in, so that should be good. We'll see you then.